Hi. All right. I'm just going to wait for a few more people to pop in. You guys can start to put your any questions or comments in the chat. I'll be checking that. And we will go ahead and get started. Today, what we're going to be talking about is self consumption and the idea of bringing your energy back home so that we can cut strings of codependency as well as learn how to consume our own energy. When we begin to consume our own energy, there's different signals that start occurring in the body. We start building bridges of trust. We start, let me put this on do not disturb. We start building bridges of trust. So there's a different chemical response in the body, which causes us to trust our intuition a little bit more fully. So today we're going to be working with Jesus. He's going to start to come through with a channeling. And if you're new to me, then when I begin channeling, it's not like there's a big shift how I look or how I start speaking. It's just a dropping in and an embodiment of the message that comes through. So the message right now is this idea that we have to begin to really dive into our own bodies and connect deeply with the wisdom that lies within us, because our body is part of our soul. It's part of the Holy Spirit. We are literally wrapped in the divine through a particle wave state. So coming back home time and time again, bringing the energy back home time and time again, allows us to begin to access the wisdom that resides within each one of us, which is unique to each one of us because we are all different aspects of God. So let's begin with a breath and coming back home to the heart space. So just take a deep breath in. When we place our awareness on our breath, again, that energy flows where attention goes. So anytime you take a deep breath, and why breath work has been coming up so much lately, is because we're breathing light into these places of us that are painful or seem a little bit dark, feel tight, feel restrictive, feel insecure and fear. So, hi, Amy. Hi, Tim. Hey, Sylvia. Thank you guys so much for being here. So, when we take a breath, what we're doing is literally within that breath is bringing our energy back home to us. And what we're going to work on today is seeing the sun behind us to light up our energy field so that we can see where there's little cracks or doors where our energy is escaping so that we can close those exit portals because we need our energy to stay back home. So when you take a breath, just feel the breath come into your chest first and then feel it begin to expand your lungs. And as it begins to expand your lungs, again, just that awareness and that expansion is bringing your energy back home. And every time you take a breath and you allow that breath to go a little deeper, you're just bringing more awareness back to the body. So just continue to bring your breath in a little deeper. Maybe you breathe a little longer. You lengthen out that breath. Again, when we lengthen our breath out and we give ourselves time to breathe deeper, to hold the breath for a little bit longer than normal, and then allow yourself to fully exhale, the signal that you're telling the body is that I'm safe because I have time to breathe. It's a very primal body response. So taking a nice, slow, deep breath, we are bringing energy back home and we are signaling to the body that we're safe. And this is the beginning of the self-consumption process. So by breathing in, we are bringing energy back home. And then by doing a nice, long, slow exhale, you are beginning to bring your energy up through your body's systems and then back up and out through the mouth. So just take a nice deep breath. And this time I want you to pull that breath all the way down to the base of your spine. Breathe into the base of your spine. And that begins to signal to that very first brain in the body. The inferior mesenteric nerve plexus is a collection of neurons. And anytime you have a collection of neurons, and we are bringing energy through that collection of neurons with our breath, right? Energy flows where attention goes. We're bringing energy through that collection of neurons. That creates a brain, it creates consciousness. And so, this nerve plexus at the base of your spine, you're breathing into it. You're signaling to that nerve plexus that I am safe. And again, I'm breathing in my own breath. I'm breathing in my own energy. And I'm going to start to pull that energy now up to the sacral, where it resides right underneath the belly button. And there's the superior mesenteric nerve plexus there. So if I am breathing life, if I'm breathing my own energy through my own attention into this energy center, now I'm signaling to the second brain in my body that I am safe, that I am beginning to trust myself. Now, here's where trust starts to come in with self-consumption. So I am literally pulling my energy, breathing my energy from this first energy center up to the second brain in my body, and I am consuming my own light. So that not just signals that I'm safe, but it's beginning to signal I trust, because I'm beginning to trust my energy. I'm beginning to trust my breath. I'm beginning to trust my body, because one, I have time. I'm doing it nice and slow. And two, I'm doing it with intention. So I know that I'm breathing my own energy up. I know I'm breathing my own light up. This is self-consumption. Good. Now, a few of you that are on where I can feel disconnect. So I place everyone in spheres of light that's going to be listening to it live and on the replay. And then I just kind of tune in. A lot of where the disconnect is happening for a lot of people right now is between the sacral, so right below the belly button, and the solar plexus. So just tune into your own body and see if you can feel it's almost kind of like a void is there, like there's not a connection happening. So if we try to open our heart and these lower energy centers aren't in communication with each other, the signal that comes out of our heart is one of we trust our outside experiences more than we trust our internal experiences. We trust the outside knowledge more than we trust the inside wisdom. So we're needing and intentionally opening up communication between these energy centers. So go ahead and breathe a little bit more deeply now and intentionally pull energy from the first to the second, and now up to the third, which is right in the middle of your gut. It's the solar plexus. There's a celiac nerve plexus that resides there. So intentionally just work on gently gliding. Don't force it. It's just a nice, gentle communication between energy centers. These are just signals. So breathe that up. Good. And the connection is being made. And now continue to pull that up into the heart space. And what you'll begin to notice with intention when you're self-consuming this energy is that your heart naturally begins to open. And it's signaling self-trust. So the message that I sent out in the email list, a prayer that I wrote earlier this week to the people in my email list was from Joshua, from Jesus. And what he was talking about is this weekend is Easter, and it's about the resurrection. And he's one of the only people, or the only person, that has come back to life to resurrect his body. And it wasn't out of sacrifice. It was to show us that our body is of the divine, and that we don't have to leave to connect to heaven. Heaven is here on earth through the physicality. And it's this deep connection to self. It's right here. He is part of us. not outside of us. So if we allow ourselves to self-consume and build this self-trust, that is something that we can begin to feel and release the sense of separation that we've all been living in all the time. We live in separation of our body. We live in separation of our wisdom and of our light. We cover these things over and they get genetically modified as we download these false belief systems, these constrictive belief systems that are playing out in our societies and our cultures and in our families. And we're intentionally, the resurrection is coming back home to self and continually working on self-consumption to allow that wisdom, that light that you are, that divine source of light that you are, to shine through. We're breaking down the barriers by self-consumption, and we're releasing the codependencies that we have on these programs that have kept us stuck in shame and lack and failure, insecurity, and all those constrictive thought forms and emotions that wrap so tightly around our energy field. It actually collapses us in, and then we cannot expand the light that we are through us and out to the collective. So the resurrection is about coming back home to self and allowing yourself to expand and remembering that Christ is you. You are Christ incarnated here in particle form. Your spirit is, in the energy waveform, but your body is in particle waveform. And it's to be expressed together, and it's to be ascended together through enlightenment within. So the breath, coming back home to the breath and consuming your own energy, it's everything. Good. Now continue to breathe this breath and breathe it up through your throat. And what you'll notice is that your throat naturally begins to open the more that you self-consume. Your third eye naturally begins to open the more that you self-consume. Your crown will naturally get connected and open the more that you self-consume, because you are trusting yourself. So go ahead and take another deep breath in. Now push this energy through your crown and allow it to flow down all around your energy field. And then it's going to start to come back up through the base of your energy field, through your breath. You're allowing your breath to pull this energy back up through you. So by doing this, we're releasing definitions that we've identified through outside experiences. We can drop the stories, we can drop the memories that are no longer serving us. So now I'm going to allow for Jesus to come forward, and we're going to begin a small light language process, an initiation of self-love. Go ahead and begin to visualize a sun behind you. A lot of pictures that we have of us is the sun shining behind us, and that is a statement of enlightenment. I am the Son of God. I am the sun. I am the sun. You are the sun. The sun brings the light, and you are the light. So the light is within you. Go ahead and allow this light to start to consume your field, shining through you, because you have a prism of light within you. You have prisms of light in the structures of your own waters, and each prism is slightly different. These crystal-like structures that reside in the waters of your body and your blood, in the cells themselves. These prisms allow the sun to come through, shine the light, and there's a rainbow, there's a myriad of colors that begin to stream out from you all around you that you share then with the world. And each color is slightly different, has a slightly different resonance, almost a slightly different texture. If you could touch it, it plays a slightly different note, a different sound, has a different vibration, because of the unique set of codes of light that you have. Our job here is to embody these codes of light, and through experiences, allow those codes of light to grow and expand. And we shift that out to the world. It doesn't just stay within us. When we are playing constricted and small, and when we are allowing these demons, these thoughts, these darknesses to cause us to cave in rather than to expand out. These codes of light don't get shared with the world, and we came here to share these codes of light and the ripple effects that they have when we come into our own internal power and we allow that power then to begin to expand is far greater and goes into many more dimensional fields than you have any realization of. And it doesn't just affect you as you move through emotion, not getting caught up in the emotion, but you breathe through it and you allow yourself to feel whatever it is meant to be felt. Your codes of light expand and the dimensional field that they play in expand, and they reach the angelic realm. They reach the ascended master realm and these other realms, and we learn from them. We learn from you. Your learning and your growth and your expansion directly affects us. We are all learning together. There's no one thing that is above or beyond another because we all are one in unison. And as you grow and expand, I grow and expand too. And so I just want you to now take this prism of light, and maybe you can just play with it. Like if you can imagine a crystal being inside your cells, inside your body. Now start to spin that crystal, and you can see the crystal now spinning, and maybe you can see the vibrations beginning to play out and spin with this crystal-like structure, and then allow that vibration to begin to expand out in your field. And maybe you can see your field shifting in color and light and variation and sound and texture, and the way that you begin to feel in your body is vibrating a little bit differently. And now expand that out past the room you're in and feel your expansion. You can almost see how the light is shifting in your environment just because you exist. Now begin to watch how your existence is now shifting the vibration of the trees, of the grass, of the sky, of the animals in your environment. As you pass through them, your light codes are hitting them and slightly shifting their resonance to something even more beautiful, even more grand, because again, they're learning from you. To begin to shift that out even further, shift it out past the town you're in, and allow yourself to move into the sky. And maybe there's water around you, and you can shift into that water and see how the water is vibrating slightly differently. See how the sky and the waves in the sky are vibrating slightly differently because of your existence, because of who you are. Now expand that out even further and go out past the earth. Now, maybe you can even see how the stars are shifting because of the light that you have, because of the light that you are now sharing so fully through the prism of light that you are. And take a breath. And breathe a little deeper. And notice that you can feel your body, but you're not restricted to your body, that your body is more open. And in fact, maybe your body has become pure light. Good. Now take one more breath and go even a little deeper into the cells and feel your heart vibrating. You can feel your stomach and your womb beginning to open, and this creation energy that you are, that you birthed into this world, vibrate a little stronger. So this idea that I have ever been separate from you, that I had to die so you could live, is quite limited and small. And the word that's coming to mind is idiotic. I am part of you. I came to show you what you were capable of and do it with you as you. I'm not outside of you. I am of you. There is nothing that you can do that would deny you access to my love, because my love is your creation. Okay, so I can feel some tears starting to come up. And if you're starting to get emotional, it's okay. Just breathe through it as you're beginning to remember that you are Christ consciousness and that you always have been and always will be loved. And every desire that's been placed in your heart is a desired expression to co create with the divine through you as you, because there is learning there. No matter how simplistic it might seem to you or how materialistic it might seem to you sometimes, it's an experience. It's an experience of what does this feel like if I get to touch this kind of texture, or what does this feel like if I touch the sands of this beach, or what does this feel like if I get to go to this nice restaurant and eat this incredible food that was made by someone that deeply cares about nourishing the body. These things and these experiences, they're not limited and they're not small. It's a learning always. Always it's a learning. It expands you. It expands all of us. But we can't know really what we desire and what we're here to express if we're consuming someone else's energy and if we're trusting someone else's knowledge more than we trust our own. So, this practice of self consumption, this practice of bringing your energy home and allowing that energy then to feed each energy center to tell yourself that I am enough as I am. I trust myself fully. I trust myself more than I trust anyone else around me because I have my best interests at heart always. I am divine love and I came here to express that. And anything outside of that is going to deter me and going to restrict me. I am enough as I am, so I'm going to consume my own energy. And I'm going to bring that energy up through me. And now I'm going to begin to follow people. I'm going to begin to be friends with people that are going to hold space for me to be me and for me to consume myself, and that can see me for the truth of who I am. And I can see them for the truth of who they are, so that together we can continue to release the tides of codependency, of failure and shame and insecurity and restriction and lack, and then begin to expand and exploit the beautiful codes of light that we each uniquely are. Instead of covering someone over or trying to morph and change their brilliance, we're going to expand it because there's something to be learned from everyone's expansion. So now we're going to begin to place a velvet-like cloth all around your shoulders, and maybe you feel it being draped over your head and under your feet and all around your energy field as we create this structure of love. And this can give you something to, when you feel the need to collapse because you're exhausted, you can collapse into this structure of Christ consciousness that's in your etheric field. It's in your energy field. And of course, your physicality is made of our substance, but allow yourself at times to just be held. And sometimes we want to be wrapped in a blanket of love, and it's right here, always waiting for you, always here for you, structured into your own energy field so that you can relax back into yourself and feel held for just a moment. And those times when you don't feel strong enough to stand up on your own. Perfect. And now we're going to begin to flap your angelic wings. So we are all born with these angelic wings and we haven't really learned how to use them. So take a breath and we're going to begin to unlace these angelic wings that are on your back. And as we untie these wings upon your back, allow them to begin to flap open and closed And they're going to begin to clear your energy field. So you can clear your own energy field. We can allow your guardian angels now to come forward to help you. So the guardian angels, your guardian angels that are with us from the time that we're born, and they stay with us until we leave this earth, they're always here, and allow them to come help you. Open your wings. And they're going to smooth over your feathers, and they're going to do any healing on if there's any holes in your wings. Just allow them to flap open, and now they're going to flap and begin to cleanse and clear any densities in your field. Allow them to clear the densities out of your field. Perfect. And now we can stretch these wings from heaven to earth. So allow the tips to stretch up into the sky, and the bottoms of your wings sink down into the earth, and they can become your grounding cord. They can become your transmitters, almost like a lightning rod. And because your angelic wings are not programmed with human emotions or these little programs of self-doubt and unworthiness that can be in our field, these are quantum. Your angelic wings are quantum. So they reach into the quantum field. So what is it that you want to feel in this now moment? Is it that you want to feel peace? And if you want to feel peace, ask your angelic wings to tune into the vibration of peace. And they'll begin to bring the vibration of peace into your field. And as they come down into your field, you can almost feel it sinking into the body as they bring that energy of peace down. And it's a grounding effect because these angelic wings go into the core of your being. And so they sink and ground this energy into the root. You want to ground this light into your root, this feeling of peace. Ask them to help ground that energy for you. And as it grounds into your root, allow it now to expand. Again, it's telling that nerve plexus there at the base of your spine, the inferior mesenteric nerve plexus, this experience of peace, this vibration of peace. And you can begin to bring that peace now up into your sacral through intention, with intention. This peace becomes your peace. This peace becomes your own intelligence. And now let's bring that up into the solar plexus. Good. It's beginning to unravel a few little knots that were still in the solar plexus. And now we're going to pull that peace through your breath, through your intention, through your own consumption. You're going to bring that and consume it up to your heart space. Perfect. Good. Now consume and bring that up through the throat and on up into the head. Good. And now let that spill down all around you. So there's a lot of different ways that you can begin to play with these angelic wings that you've been given. So take a breath. I'm going to tell Jesus, thank you, thank you, thank you for being present. Thank you for helping everyone step into their power and remembering that they are you and you are them incarnated here, and that there is no sense of separation. And we know that we're going to fall out of it sometimes. We know that. We know we're going to fall out of it. But it's about coming back home through the breath, connecting and self-consuming over and over again until it becomes such a strong practice that it is just the way that we be in the world. But it's going to take a little work to get to that place of just being in a self-consumption mode at all times. It's going to take a little work, and that's okay. And sometimes we're going to forget. And sometimes it's going to not feel good to self-consume because of the energy that we are flowing with our emotions. But if we breathe into that shadow energy, there's light on the other side of it, and there's wisdom on the other side of it. We just need to stay out of the story. And that's why we can connect to the breath and focus on how the breath feels and keep our mind centered on the breath and how it's feeling in the self consumption aspect to help us continue to detach from the story and to stop the rotating thoughts going through the mind of self depreciation. So, releasing the story, releasing the codependency of the stories of our past and who we've been in the past through breath and through self consumption. So, thank you so much for being here. Thank you for being willing to self consume. Thank you for working through your prisms of light and shining so brightly. I saw all of your waves going well beyond the moon and out on into the stars. And I am so, so grateful. So, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you have any questions or comments, you can always put them in the comments below. Be sure to like and subscribe and share if you feel called. And you can always ask for another video to be made on a different topic. That's how I usually get these topics. And I just feel so grateful. Thank you, thank you, thank you. So much love and light to you all. You are welcome.